Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. Well, Jonathan Majors broke his silence today in an exclusive interview he did with ABC, and the interview is very important. And I'm going to tell you why after I play a clip from the video.
Understanding the gravity of the situation, a situation that I, in many ways, put myself in.
The actor spoke exclusively with ABC News for the first time after being convicted in late December for harassment and misdemeanor reckless assault in the third degree, which could carry a penalty of up to a year behind bars.
Why did you decide you wanted to talk now?
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. It's about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of the story.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shocked. I was absolutely shocked and afraid. And I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible?
I think a lot of us want to know, how is this possible? You know, when you look at the situation, she took his property from him. She took his cell phone from him. He attempted to get it back. And she's claiming she got injuries from that. And he was convicted of recklessly harming her, that he didn't intend to hurt her, but he recklessly harmed her. Now, if you take something that belongs to me, don't I have the right to get it back from you? And I'm thinking that, now that we're getting all of this, behind the curtain, back behind the scenes look at what's going on in Hollywood, um, especially on the heels of the Shannon Sharp Cat Williams interview, you get to, and all of the explosive allegations that have come out lately in various aspects. It's making you wonder if this isn't just some thing where we can break you kind of thing. There's no question that he is talented. Jonathan Majors is talented. He is gifted at what he does. But so are a lot of people. And when it comes to these quote unquote people in the industry that are the evildoers, quote unquote, behind the scenes, maybe he didn't do something that he was not willing to do. And then all of this stuff happened to him to break him, you know. Um, and maybe he wasn't willing to gauge in a sexual relation with someone. Maybe he was not willing to do something. Um, uh, maybe how did he and this woman connect? Was she uh well, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. I'm not Cat Williams. Not saying that he's a conspiracy theorist, but you know, he did talk about how these men get with certain women that are just basically given to them as a whatever. Um this relationship that he was in was just not, as he'll get into in this interview, it just didn't make sense, this relationship. that he and this woman had. It was toxic all the way. I don't know when it wasn't toxic. Um, and then he'll get into why he didn't just leave. And when he says why he didn't leave, pay close attention.
Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
But after only hours of deliberation, a jury of his peers agreed with prosecutors that he did physically injure his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari, in an incident last March.
What happened exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But she's unconscious.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV, when Majors received a text from another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face,
Yeah.
twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
You know, if you take something of mine and I'm trying to get it back from you and you happen to get injured, well, that's your fault. You took my stuff. I mean, I guess since she's white, she's just supposed to take anything she wants from him, and he's supposed to just sit there like a dunce, begging her to give it back. He wanted to get his phone back. I mean, what gives her the right to just snatch something from him? And then he's gonna go to jail for that? Wow.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it.
But you're confident you didn't cause
I have no
them.
question.
Surveillance video shows Majors getting out of the car, followed by Jabari, whom he then puts back inside the vehicle. What happens next is what the defense remains focused on. Majors runs off, and Jabari chases after him.
If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street, screaming and crying, that man is going to be shot and killed in the streets of New York City.
Majors' defense team shared these photos, which he says show the injuries he received that night, which were deemed inadmissible in court.
How were you injured?
My injuries were, I had a scratch on my hand, from clawing for the phone, and I had a gash on my, at the time I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my bled overnight.
But prosecutors say Majors was the aggressor. District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological and emotional abuse. In court, prosecutors pointed to a previous argument during which he knocked a candle to the floor.
I completely lost my temper in that moment and threw it all on the ground. That's not something I would want my child to do. And I did that. I absolutely did that. And felt terrible about it.
The prosecution also played audio Jabari had recorded earlier in the relationship where Majors encouraged her to act more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama.
I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in.
And maybe that's why they wanted to clip him. They couldn't buck break him. The new version of buck break. They couldn't buck break this black man. They had this white woman that was next to him. He's recognizing that he has potential to be great. He had, and I believe that he did, and he still does. But with someone like that by his side, there's no way he was going to live up to his potential. And let that be a lesson to all you men out here and women. You can have all the potential in the world, but if the person that you are in one of the most intimate relationships you'll have with a person in this world is someone that is toxic, then you see what happened to his potential. He's facing jail time.
and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman.
There are some who question, especially in the black community, as you're probably well aware, that people were saying, well, why was he telling this woman to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama?
It was me trying to give an analogy of what it is I'm aspiring to be. You know, these great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that. One of the things I also say is, like, I need her, in that case, Grace, to make the same sacrifices that I am making.
In a statement to ABC News,
There's no
an
way
attorney for
she was going to
Jabari
be
said in
that.
part, it is not at all surprising that Mr. Majors continues to take no accountability for his actions, adding, the timing of these new statements demonstrates a clear lack of remorse for his actions.
You know, it's really crazy because she could turn around and civilly sue him. But she's not taking any accountability for her actions. She's the one that kicked this particular argument off by trying to snatch his phone and causing him to have to try to get his phone back from her. I mean, I don't see her taking any responsibility for her actions. And when he tried to separate himself from the argument, she's chasing him down the street. This thing is really weird. This is really weird.
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship. If I'm not in the car, none of this is happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening. If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car. We're not here. I'm responsible for those things.
But none of her injuries.
I can't say that. None of her injuries. You know, sorry. You know, I haven't seen my daughter in a long time. You know, and a lot of it has to do with this situation.
In a split verdict, Majors was found not guilty of two other misdemeanors, assault with intent to cause physical injury and aggravated assault.
They're saying you didn't intend
Right.
to injure her,
Right.
but the result of your recklessness
Right.
injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart,
Not with her body.
not with her body.
The physical altercation started inside an SUV after Majors received a suggestive text message from another woman. Hours later, after Majors placed a 911 call, police found Jabari unconscious on the closet floor in their apartment, as seen in this body camera footage.
You feel that you did anything wrong on the night of March 25th? If you could relive that night?
I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have put her back in the car. I wouldn't have tried to keep her in the car. I would have gotten out that car and ran immediately.
The two met back in 2021 on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
The prosecution has described your relationship with Grace Jabari as tumultuous and abusive. How would you describe that two-year relationship?
I loved Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, you know, and that began to reveal itself over time.
Why'd you stay?
I was scared. With the red flags, I found that, I use this word, it's dangerous. This is months before the incident. I should have been brave. I should have said, no, this isn't working, and I should have walked away.
I think it's I'll leave a link to this full interview, or you can look for it on the internet. The reason why I want to stop it there is because I want to tie this up here. Why did you stay in the relationship? He was afraid, he was scared. What grown man do you know is afraid to leave or break up with a woman that he doesn't want anymore? And he's the one in the position of, he's the one that got the money, he's the one that has the fame, he's the one that's the rising star. See, Jonathan isn't telling us something, but with all of the reveals that have come out over the past, I'd say, several months, year, there's something going on behind the scenes. Why would he be afraid to break up with her when he knew that it wasn't a good relationship? See, this is the problem when you men are on the rise, and these women hitch their wagon to you, and you let them, and you realize that they are not a fit, and you keep going along with it. Now, for him being a full grown man saying that he was afraid to break up with this woman, there's something other than her that he's afraid of. And he ucked around and found out. I mean, there's something. And then now Megan Good I mean, where the hell is she come in the picture? You know, you're going through one of, and obviously his mother and the people, mother or family, they're like, right, they should be telling him right now is not the time for you to be getting in any type of relationship. You're fighting for your life because of you being in a bad relationship. And Megan Good. I think she's just there for the optics or whatever this Hollywood cabal is. Done placed her next to him. I mean, that's what I think. Everything in this video that I speak is my personal opinion. Um, I don't know if you want to be an actor or in the entertainment business in any type of way. Really need to really protect yourself, or maybe need to think twice about it, because it is something very, very dark and sinister about this business. Does that mean everyone that's in the business is connected into something evil or negative? No. But it just seems like if you listen and dissect this interview, why was he convicted? Why was he even charged? Why was he convicted? Why was he afraid to break up with her? And why is he paying such a price for leaving her and wanting to end the relationship? His whole career is smashed and he could be potentially going to jail, and he was convicted in a court of law for breaking up with this woman. And so, only thing I can say to you guys out here, and women too, but you men, when you're a rising star, whether you're in the entertainment business or not, when you have a lot of potential, you're going places, uh, you should be careful who you choose as your romantic partner, because that person could be the very one to bring it all down. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This has been Wonders of a Black Woman. Peace.